Hi everybody, and thanks so much for tuning into my video. I'm going to do this full glam look with you guys, so stay tuned. So first we're going to start off with the Moisture Surge Moisturizer by Clinique, which I really like. It's a very lightweight moisturizer and it's an auto replenisher, so it's really not heavy on the skin at all. It's just going to really seep into the skin quickly and give a nice hydrating look to the skin. Perfect for underneath makeup. I'm just gonna clean up my brows with some concealer. I'm using a concealer brush just to sculpt out my brows. I like to go underneath and really make sure that the shape is perfect and that we can hide any imperfections. And you could just take that excess concealer and blend it in with your finger. I'm also going to use concealer as my eyeshadow primer today. I like to use concealer over a eyeshadow primer just because I feel like it's not so drying on the eyes. I'm going to set that with some translucent powder. So this is the Hourglass Veil Powder, talc free. So you just want to pat that in with a damp sponge, just to ensure that there's no creases. Next up, I'm going to use my NYX Dark Circle Corrector. So this is in the shade Medium. I really love this corrector. I feel like it's a really good medium to full coverage, and it really hides any dark circles really well. I know that it comes in 3 shades, but medium works best for me. So I really love this product. Next I'm going in with the Flawless Filter by Charlotte Tilbury. I love glowy makeup. I just feel like it looks the most natural. I am obsessed with this product. It is like a booster, so I don't use it as a primer. I use it as a booster just to add glow to my face makeup. I like to apply it before any foundation. You could actually mix it in with your foundation as well, or you could just put it on top of makeup, or if you don't want to wear anything, just have like a nice glow. This is awesome because it kind of blurs any imperfections as well. And I'm going to use the Nars Natural Radiant Foundation. So this is really a great foundation if you have like normal to dry skin. It just gives like the most perfect medium to full coverage. I just use like a pump. I don't really use that much because I'm not so big on coverage, but when I do want to use foundation, this is one of my favorites. It gives a really natural finish. It's not too heavy, not too cakey, and it still has a little bit of a radiance with it, so definitely one of my top 3 foundations. I like to blend that into my neck as well. Then I'm going to take my damp beauty sponge and really press any of the excess product into the skin. Just get everything nice and super seamless. Next, going in with my Tarte Shape Tape Concealer. This is in the shade Light Medium. This is a really great concealer if you like full coverage. I don't use too much just because I like a more natural finish underneath my eye, but it is so good at concealing dark circles. It's thick, but if you use just a little bit, you'll find that it gives the most flawless coverage and it looks amazing underneath the eye area. I'm using my damp e.l.f. Camo sponge that I picked up recently. Also, great sponge. I like to use any of the excess concealer and put it on my highlighting points. Once I make sure everything's nice and blended, I'm going to go in with my Veil Hourglass Powder, and I'm going to bake underneath my eye area. So I've said this before, it's a thin consistency, so it's really going to give you a nice finish under the eye. It's not going to add too much thickness. The only downside of this product, I would say, is that you can get flashback because it's more white in color. But if you make sure that when you're done baking and you brush it off properly, you don't have any issues in any of your photos. I'm also going to use this to accentuate my contour. So I always go from the middle of the ear and bring it to the sides of my lips. This is just going to help sculpt out the face and really make your cheekbones pop. So I'm going to go in with shadows. So I'm going in with a transition shade. So really you could use any shade for a transition shade, anything that'll go with the colors that you choose to use. So I always use that as my first eyeshadow color. So I always go in with a first layer, and then I add a second layer as well. I really like to go from the outer V and go up into my crease. I have more of a hooded eye shape, so you don't really see my lids that much. So really when you go above the crease, it accentuates the eye. And that's where I give my main focus. I stay away from the lid unless I'm doing more of a smoky eye look, but I always like pat the products on the outer corner and then blend it upwards and above the crease. I do it in soft circular motions just to get a really nice, seamless, blended eye. The key to eyeshadows is blending. If you feel like you've blended, blend more. You can never blend enough when it comes to shadows, especially if they're high in pigment. I decided to use burgundy shadows today. I really wanted that like burgundy look, like a bronzy burgundy look, so that's what I'm going for today. So all I'm using is my transition shade and my like burgundy shade and mixing them together, putting one on top of the other. I'm going to take the burgundy color and go underneath my lash line. I have creases under my eyes, so this really helps disguise any creasing or puffiness underneath my eyes, so I love this technique. I use a smudge brush. I'm using the Anastasia brush, and I'm really going back and forth, making sure that I don't have any like bold, patches of pigment, and I'm really gonna blend that really well underneath the eye area. I like to like connect it towards the end where I have the shadow from where I placed it on the top lid and kind of connect them both so that it looks very seamless. I also have a smaller eye shape, so this really helps make my eyes appear bigger. I'm going to take my ponytail brush that's on the other end and just smoke it out. Going in with the Damn Girl mascara from Too Faced. I have been loving this recently, so I literally use it for volume. And then I go in with the Marc Jacobs. I use the little travel size, and it has more of a longer wand, really good for length. I love how rich in color this mascara is. It's like super, super, super black, which I love, so I'm a huge fan of this mascara. Perfect lashes. I'm also going to go in with the Marc Jacobs on my bottom lashes. I feel like this doesn't smudge on me, so I always use that on my bottom. I'm going to go with this angled contouring brush. This is from Laura Mercier from their newer collection of brushes. It's synthetic fibers, so it picks up color very well. I'm using the Kevyn Aucoin Sculpting Powder, so I always use this as the base of my contour. This is in the shade Medium. I always go from the top of my ear and blend upwards, up into the apples of my cheeks. I really like to apply this on the hairline, jawline, underneath the chin, just to really give a sculpted look. And on top of that, just because I really like a bold and sharp contour, I use the Anastasia Light Medium Contour Kit. I've been using this forever. That is why it is so beat, but it's super good. I've never found a contouring palette as good as that one for the price. I mean, there are plenty of great contour palettes out there, but the price is right for this contour palette, and the color payoff is great. So anywhere that I put my Kevin Aquan, I'm going to put this, and I'm going to blend everything into my neck. I'm also going to take my face powder brush and just brush away anywhere that I baked with my Veil translucent powder. Really brush it off. I'm going to go in with my Wet n Wild blush. I love these blushes, and it's literally $3 for this blush. The pigment is insane, and if you haven't tried these blushes, you have to. It was literally $3 at the store. This is in Pearlescent Pink is the shade that I'm using today. It just looks so pretty. Next, I'm going in with the Nicole Guerrero Anastasia collab. I am obsessed with this highlighting palette. If you want to beam and gleam, this is the highlighting palette for you. Get it where you can. It's amazing. It's a little bit glittery, but the sheen and the reflection is insane, and the colors are amazing. I'm also using my highlighting brush from Morphe. The tip is narrowed just so you get a really splendid highlight. I'm going to go in with the NYX liner in Los Angeles. This is a really beautiful shade as well. I'm going to overline my lips just so we get a nice big pout. And now going in with lipstick, I'm going to use my MAC Blankety lipstick. I love this color. It's more of a cool toned nude, so it looks really good with the Los Angeles liner. I'm going to go over with the liner just to make sure that everything blends seamlessly and we get. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you liked this video, and stay tuned for the next one. See you next time.